This Sunday. Every Sunday. Side by side at the microphone, from the green light to the speed trap, Chris Switzer and Ray Carino calls them as they sees them, and you better believe them. Here! Relevant news, biased opinions, and outright bullshit regarding every aspect of automotive culture. Gas, but mechanical trickery never before revealed over FCC-regulated airwaves. Thrill to the explosive tension as Chris and Ray cuss each other down the track and barrel roll across the finish line, laughing at certain disaster as they shake hands for the devil. All that and much more this Sunday at high noon on the Motormouth Radio Hour. Call in and speak live with the Wizards of Speed and live feed, Chris Switzer and Ray Garino. Bring the whole family. Kids under 12 get in free. Every Sunday at noon on WHPC. Take the Long Island Expressway to the Meadowbrook Parkway and look for the sign saying no parking on the expressway and no express service on the parkway. Go right on Highway 24 to Garden City. $2 all-day parking includes pit pass. Sunday!
Yeah, I want to know what the is wrong with my car. You have a short in your horn.
Motormouth Radio, 90.3 FM, WHPC.
Yes, and you have tuned in to the new and improved Motormouth Radio right here on 90.3 WHPC with your hosts, Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. We are having a fine Sunday here, and we hope to share it with you with your car questions and concerns. Is that right, Chris?
Oh, yeah, this slightly soggy Sunday, but a nice one nonetheless, spending most of it indoors, or at least in the garage, doing some last-minute springtime automotive projects like I plan to do after the program. Yeah.
Oh, busy.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm trying to gather up enough time to swap out that Holley carburetor that I have sitting on top of the old 383.
Oh, okay.
And drop on the one that I purchased. I can't remember what the heck it was. I know you know.
It's the 600 CFM normal bore. Yeah.
Right. Which we discussed it. It literally just popped out of my head. The carburetor that I want to put on the car, which is sitting in a box. It's been sitting in the box for the last 2 years, but I was planning on rebuilding it. I actually ordered the rebuilding kit from Mike's carburetor, which we highly recommend.
Excellent.
Yeah, and so it's just a matter of getting the time to sit down. And I think like you do, only there are no cigars involved, but I think like you do, where there's like a Zen moment. You have to put the right music on in the garage, and the temperature has to be right. Everything has to be good. Some incense, maybe, I don't know, just some mood lighting. But you do need a certain amount of concentration when you're rebuilding a carburetor, and that's one of those things that I still have to master. I mean, I've rebuilt carburetors in the past, but never to the environmental extreme that you possess. You just, light up a old Denobile or something like that.
It's really only because I've been rebuilding them since I'm about 17. So
Really?
I started taking them apart, at a young age, and I just never stopped. I always did it. Learned a lot along the way. Still learning stuff.
I believe it.
And it's a lot of muscle memory. It's like playing an instrument, pretty much. But you're right. It is a Zen moment. You can't have everything scattered around it. I don't know. I guess some people can. I've seen people who work in some pretty bad.
God.
I mean, I worked for a friend at his shop years ago, and he would do a rebuild instead of sending it out or buying one. And he would just like clear a space on the bench.
I know exactly how he feels.
And start taking the thing apart. I'm like, clipped rods, the
check balls flying everywhere.
And he always seemed to get it done. So it's just a matter of how you like your work environment to be.
Well, after what I've been through automotively, working on a whole bunch of things, like just recently the exhaust on the Explorer and the exhaust on the truck, there's just the brakes on the Mazda. It was all of these things all culminating into one heap of junk on the tool bench right now.
Yeah.
Really, and it's exactly the case, right? I mean, this is how I work at times. I have to, push stuff out of the way just to get that task done at hand, and then
Right.
get that together, and then you push some more junk away to get another task done, and those half done tasks that are pushed aside. So yeah, that's how my tool bench looks now, and I don't want any of that when I take apart this carburetor. So,
Sure.
and I do have to take it apart because I want to use the Chrysler definitely this year. I mean, I have to pull the tires off it just because the tires are 45 years old. So
Yeah, yeah.
I have to pull those off
I
because
know.
I'm not driving this thing on any highway. But the carburetor does something on the engine. It has a performance issue that I'd like to address just for a second. When
Huh?
you get in the car in the morning and hit the key, that thing will start right up, from, and it'll run, it'll idle, everything's fine. Now you back it out of the garage, park it, let it run for like 5 minutes, whatever have you, park it, and then if you have to put the car back 10 minutes later, get in that car, it will not start for hill of beans. It'll crank and crank and crank and crank and crank. And then finally, like, you get it to wake up like out of a sarcophagus. It's like it gives you like that sort of drama.
Ah,
And
you just gave me the clue I needed.
oh, what was that?
How does it run? Do that one more time.
And then she'll fire up and you get like a whole, blotch of something coming out the back. But it's only been sitting there for 10 minutes. I mean, for crying out loud. So that's why this Holley carburetor is going to go off a roof.
That's indicative. That sound is indicative of the choke being closed too far. But what we're going to open is the phones and say,
Oh,
"Hi, caller. You're on with the Motor Mouths."
Hello, Chris. Hello, Ray.
Hey, John.
Hey, John.
We had a top down day.
No, unless you have not even if you have a submarine. No.
Right.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
if you have a scuba suit.
Yeah. Well, there's ways around it, but yeah, you're right. This is, and I have to go out by your way. I got to go out to St. James today for a barbecue.
Oh, jeez. You kidding me? Wear a rain jacket.
Well, I have
I'm
my
thinking at least
I have my cigar shield. So no, there's my buddy has tents on the deck, and most will probably be in the house mostly. But
stop at Costco, get a golf umbrella.
I do. I have one. I have a couple. Yeah, but no, we'll be all right. We're not gonna be getting wet. Just driving.
Chris, you got to stop talking about performance issues. I never hear Ray say that.
John, you're right. It really is the case. It really is. But it's funny because Ray makes up for it because his main vehicle has given him more trouble than my main vehicle. See, I equate his main vehicle to be not the Cavalier, the Cruze, the Chevy Cruze. My main vehicle is the Mazda CX-9, and whenever Ray complains about the Cruze, I never come back with a problem with the CX-9 because there is none. So,
Yeah, and truthfully, if you look at the histrionics of it, they're kind of far between. It's not all the time. It's not. I mean, it doesn't stop me from taking the car out. I'll take it today. It has stopped me from doing things in the past, though. And when it fails, it fails. That's what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's the truth. It's just the nature of the beast. Now, at least the CX-9 on my end, it was giving me a little bit of brake issues. I had to do the stabilizer links on it, and it's just indicative of the 117,000 miles it's got on the clock. So,
Sure.
So it's part of the use. I get it, but you're right, John. I got the performance issues definitely. You're right about that.
Not getting younger.
What was that?
I said we all do. We're not getting younger.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, thankfully those performance issues are okay.
I wasn't going there. But
yeah, I don't know about Ray's though, but mine are all right.
We're doing okay.
What a washout weekend for car events.
It really is, unfortunately. Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's true. Everything's canceled. That's why I say, go in the garage and do a project that you were counting on or you didn't have time for all this time. Now's probably the greatest weekend in the world to do it, whatever it is, because everything's getting canceled and you're not going anywhere for the next 2 days at least.
Yeah.
So rebuild that carburetor, John.
Yeah,
Well, and on that note, carburetors, I learned this many, many years ago by somebody wiser than me. They said, the most common problem with carburetors that cause a rebuild to be needed is not wear and tear or even failure. It's dirt. It's just dirt and or varnish or gum and whatnot. And that's why I had over the years, the one thing I did change the most was my cleaning strategies. And now, like John, I've upped it to ultrasonic because that gets into the little cracks and crevices and passages where you can't, with just soaking the carburetor. So that's the biggest problem you're going to face is really your cleaning is the.
Ray, that's an excellent point. And a lot of I don't do carburetors, mostly small engine stuff. But even like the 2-cycle, even 4-cycle, I use seafoam and I put the carburetor in the ultrasonic cleaner, and I've had awesome results. You don't have to take it apart. You don't have to worry about gaskets, because seafoam is, pretty gentle. But even using it straight up in the ultrasonic cleaner, it's amazing what it does.
So you put the carburetor in whole, take it out, and then reinstall it?
Yep.
Wow. See, I'd want to look at the inside. I always want to check the float adjustment. You want to look at the needle seat. Plus, I would never really trust, I guess, the gaskets after they got soaked, fully wet. Well, I guess maybe if you never took it apart, yeah, I guess they could dry out and still be in shape. I guess I've heard of people doing that. I've never done it. That's not my choice. I do disassemble. And the small engine stuff, there's only like an O-ring on the float bowl and maybe one gasket. There's not a lot, but
No, they're way more involved on a car. But
yeah.
I've done it recently. I had a steel chainsaw that I hadn't used and it went in stored with stable. There's no fuel cut off.
Right.
And it wasn't playing nice trying to start it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I took the carburetor off, dumped it in seafoam in a glass jar into the ultrasonic.
Right. And
you got to be careful blowing out stuff because the 2-stroke stuff, they have very thin. There's not really like a needle seat in them.
Okay.
But I did it, threw the thing back in, started on the first pull.
Beautiful. Hey, listen, I'll go.
I did that with other 4-cycle. I haven't tried, and the Techron, which
Techron is good
that may
too.
be another.
Yeah. Well, listen, like I said, I haven't done it, but I'll go by your, by your experience. So that's where, Chris, in your case, you do need to disassemble, and you're going to have gaskets, you're going to have cork, you're going to have there may be rubber, and you're going to have paper. Hopefully, the problem with Holleys is when they, some Holleys, when they sit, depending how old they are, the gaskets glue themselves to the body, and they are impossible. It takes forever to get them off. So Holley came out with a line of they're blue gaskets, and you feel them. They almost feel slippery. They have a little bit of like Teflon on them, so they're anti-stick. You can take them on and off. Those are the ones you want to use. If you
new and improved.
Yeah, definitely. They learned their lesson. Yeah. So
that's for sure. No, you're absolutely right.
Very good.
I think a carburetor on the Chrysler has been rebuilt hundreds of times.
They can be because there's not a lot of wear that happens in a carburetor. It's the needle valve has a Viton tip that might wear. Over time, I've seen them where they fell off. The accelerator pump certainly wears and can degrade. And other than that, there's just passages and some rods and springs and stuff that doesn't wear. So Good deal.
Yeah, Ray, that's an excellent point. On the small carburetors that I rebuild, some of them came with the Vicon tip. And I've also done a bunch of them where it was metal on metal.
Yes.
There was a brass seat.
Right.
And
yeah, the interaction of that seat and the tip. The tip just goes in the seat to shut off the fuel flow into the bowl. So it could be a ball. I've seen the older ones where it was kind of like a ball end on that. And as long as it shuts it off, that's all it has to do. And then, incoming fuel pressure raises it and lets the fuel in. It's a very, very simple design. Very, very easy.
But it's almost like a valve seat.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, because it's two pieces that mate together. Yeah, exactly. Or you can look at it like the flapper valve in your toilet that keeps the water in the bowl. That's a conical piece that sits into the matching female groove, and when it closes, the water stays where it is. When you pull the handle and lift it up, it lets the water out. In that case, it does the opposite, but it's really the same thing in a different application.
Sure.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck with that stuff, John. Chris, and you're good luck with yours. We're gonna have to talk about putting the transfer tube in. I know you had trouble with that in the past, and there's a trick.
Oh no, that 4160 Holley is not coming apart on my tool bench anytime soon.
Oh, I thought
it's the one I'm replacing it with was the Carter, the what is it, AFV?
Oh no, it would be the AFV was the original one that stood for aluminum 4-barrel. They replaced that with the AVS, which was an air valve secondary, and now the new Carters are made by Edelbrock, and they go by different names. The
one I purchased is a 71. It's out of off a 71 big block. So so I figured as close as I can get to.
If it's an original carburetor, yeah, that could very well be an AFB. You know what? I just did this yesterday. Looking at the front of the carburetor, there's the pads where the studs come through. So when looking at the carburetor, on the left-hand side pad where the stud is, there's a number. It's probably going to start with it'd be a 9,000 number.
Okay.
If you find that number, send it to me, and I can tell you what the exact application is. I have a decoding chart. So
I will do that.
All righty, John. Listen, stay out of the rain today. Try and stay dry.
Yeah.
Can I pose one more question?
Yeah, go on.
Sure.
What do you got?
I sent you an email on I want to put the Techron into the vet. It's got 2 9-gallon tanks.
Right.
And I'm sort of, on the fence about just dumping it in when it's at half a tank. It's weird how it fills up. I don't know if you read that, but
I didn't. No, I didn't see that. I don't know. I guess I'm assuming the fuel goes into Fill-A-Neck and it just goes. It finds the level. It goes into each tank, and so they have an equal level.
Yeah, I think it fills up. I'd have to go back and read it again, but it fills up the driver's side and then spills over into the passenger side.
Yeah, then you have no way of knowing if you're getting the right dispersion of the Techron. Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird because it actually dispenses the gas between the 2 tanks.
I know this with something like Startron and Techron, you can't use too much. You can't. You can run the engine on it pretty much. So if you want to be safe, just put in more than what it would call for, and that way you kind of hedge your bet.
Yeah. The funniest is what I'm reading on a lot of the Corvette forums, and there's an issue with the fuel gauge, and everything that I see, they keep going, dump 2 bottles of Techron in, which do, I think one bottle does like 15 gallons. So,
Hey, John?
You get it in strong, but...
Yeah.
I just went online and asked that question. It said, wait until the fuel gauge reads around a quarter of a tank, pour the entire bottle of Techron directly into the gas tank, then immediately fill the tank completely with gasoline. This ensures both sides of the Corvette saddle fuel tank system mix the additive correctly.
Okay. Good enough.
That makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So there you go. Yeah, do it at a quarter tank and you should be golden.
Yeah.
Well, it does, but I never let it get that low.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess in this case, if you want to use the Techron, then, you'll have to do that.
Right.
I'm just doing it as preventive
So
maintenance.
you do that. You know what? You do that when you're going to store the car at the end of the season. That's when you do it. Until then, you could dump some in the tank. It's still going to go through the engine and you'll have the benefits. So, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. You'll be fine.
I'll do it twice. It's not expensive.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I got to run it dry. I may have to drive in and visit you, but
There you go. Yeah.
yeah, I get too good gas mileage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
I get on the road. I get in the upper 20s.
That's great.
That's for a Corvette. That's awesome.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't suck.
No. Very good. All right, John. Well, keep us up on that and stay dry this weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, don't put the top down.
No, it won't.
No.
All right.
Let you have a bucket.
Chris, good luck with the performance issues.
Thanks, John.
All right, John. All right.
On both ends, on my car and on myself, on my person.
Exactly. So we have a performance issue to celebrate here on this show. In my mailbox at the station was this today.
Ooh.
So this is
car show, Sunday, April 20th, 2026. It's a plaque. And look at that. There's a Motormouth Radio logo under it in appreciation of your sponsorship of the car show, Long Island Supervisors Spring Classics 2026. Wow.
Right. So that was from the...
Suitable for framing and everything. Very nice.
So that's nice. That was
job.
a couple weeks ago. So yeah, that was very good. And
I like it.
I had a good talk with Bob Jones yesterday from the Oldsmobile Club. Their show went off last weekend. We talked about it. He had about 350 cars. They did a bang up. It was a great show.
Fantastic.
Had the perfect weather this week. Anybody who's doing something this week is obviously not.
Right.
So
They'll be doing it next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, get those small projects done, gang. This is the time to do it.
So I got to tell you, we didn't get to talk about it last week too much, but on my recent road trip, I actually went to the happiest place on earth.
Where is that? It says America. What is that? Something America?
Who's the little guy in the circle? You know who that is?
Oh, it's the squirrel from. Oh, what's
Buc-Cee's.
that? Buc-Cee's, the largest truck stop
Right.
that I've avoided.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
yet-
Well, we
I've
made
yet to
it.
stop in a
We
Buc-Cee's.
made it a point to go there. So we're going to go to the phones again and say, hi, caller. You're on with the Motor Mouths.
Hey, good afternoon, good morning, whatever, Ray, Chris.
Speak of the car show host, Bob Jones from the Long Island Olds Club. How are you,
Hey,
Bob?
Bob.
Yes, very good. How are you, Chris?
Doing well. How was your show last week? How'd it go?
Yeah, I heard you guys mention it, so I thought I'd call in.
Well, thank
The
you.
show went off very nicely. We were lucky on the weather. It was warm, but it wasn't like today, which is normally what we get.
Right.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah.
Was there any
so
drama, Bob? Was there any drama? Car show?
Car show drama. Let me think. No, I don't think so.
Okay, good.
I would say a high percentage of the people who have expressed, sentiments about the show have said it went off well. They enjoyed it. It was, even though it was hot, I was using sunscreen, and some guys out there didn't have tents, but no one really complained that it was too hot.
Right.
And there was a nice selection of cars. We had over 300 cars, which is very good. We were very happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Fire department did a good job. I saw Christian there. Christian was vending some parts. Jeff Robinson was vending some parts and toys and things. We had a nice selection of vendors. We had at least about 20 vendors, which was very nice. And we have about we do have 12 sponsors. So those sponsors, we put them on the back of our show shirts. And as you know, the first 200 cars that come in get a free shirt, and it's a nice shirt. So it's well worth the price of admission.
Bob, I've worn your shirts out of state and gotten comments on them.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I have another one for you guys.
Oh, excellent.
We'll be giving you the 2026. The nice thing is the sponsors do give us, a fee. And based on everything that we do at the show, we end up making money, which we're able to give to the three not-for-profit / charities, as I call them.
Uh-huh.
And we had an animal rescue, Bobby and the Strays, out of Freeport right there.
Nice.
They were on the field with a couple of the dogs. Of course, the North Belmore Fire Department parade and drill team. They're our partners for many years now. Christian is an ex-rinky dink, or
right.
maybe when you're a dink, you're always a dink. I guess.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah. My stepdad
You're a dink to the end.
Yes, my stepdad was a dink back in, I think it was 1960. That's when they won one of the championships. But and then we have the SAR group, the Suicide Awareness and Remembrance Flag Group, a family. So Kevin Hertel, who we've partnered with the last couple of years, has come up with a flag similar to the POW flag, but more of a remembrance flag for those that have been lost to suicide. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how much you know about our all the veterans groups put together, all the arms and the service. We lose, close to 20 veterans a day across, the country or world from suicide. So more than wars, the losses. So he has been petitioning Washington and local states. I think the town of Oyster Bay might be flying the flag in their municipal building there. But
yeah, I know he wanted to get it right under the POW flag.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are the three groups that we're able to write nice checks to. And this year we got 3 new sponsors. One is the One Stop Auto and Auto Store in Wantor.
Nice.
That was their Jim and his team there. Very nice. Then that company right here on Long Island, headquartered in Wisconsin, the LifeVac, with the appliance that you put on your face if you have an obstruction in the throat.
My wife wants to get one of those for my daughter, for our grandson, just to have as a safety device.
Well, come to our meeting June 3rd.
Okay.
In Farmingdale. Ryan and Gabby from LifeVac are going to give us some information. We can take orders right there. Nice. They were selling them at our show, and that's a real nice one, So, and then of course we have many of our return sponsors, like Thornton in Pennsylvania for restorations, and Fusick, obviously, who Jason Fusick.
Right. So what were some of the standout cars of the show, Bob?
Oh, yeah. There were some really, really nice cars. Frankie from the La Familia group?
Yes.
La Famiglia? Yes. So I always pronounce that wrong.
It's because you're not Italian.
I don't speak Italian.
Right.
I'm a little Italian, but not enough, I guess.
Right.
So anyway, he invited some counterparts, friends out of Brooklyn that brought some cars that I had never seen before. These were Cadillacs, of course, Frankie.
Say, a whole fleet of Caddy Eldorados, right?
There could be people looking for those cars who haven't seen them in a long time.
Yeah.
But I digress. No, actually, they're associated with Hollywood Motors, where I've done a bunch of car inspections PPI inspections, by they Great guys.
Well, yeah, Mario and Mike are sponsors of our show,
right?
Of our, Dust Off. So yeah, they've always been supportive of us. We'll see them soon. Yeah. DMP Auto in Merrick, right by you.
Right.
Phil Adati is also one of the sponsors. But this fellow John brought 3 cars. He got 2 drivers, and he ushered these 3 cars in. One was and they're in the 80s Cadillacs. One was a Mary Kay car. And
bright pink.
given away at the national, I think it was Mary Kay conference. This car, I don't know, it was just outstanding in its presentation. Next to it was what they called a Patriot Edition, 2-door, large Cadillac, which had, red, white, and blue theme throughout the car. Also exquisite and great condition. And then there was a Gucci.
Ooh.
The car had a whole Gucci theme. It was given away on a TV show. He had the 1980s TV in the trunk because he brought the TV and the video to prove it.
Oh, wow.
Except that the TV wasn't working at that moment.
Right.
But these 3 cars were outstanding. A nice W30 Olds, which obviously we like to talk about an Olds once in a while.
Sure.
Which won best in show. It was a Thornton Thornton restoration. Right to the T. Everything was just perfect. A lot of the Oldsmobiles came out, Ray. We were complaining the last couple of years a little bit. We're the Oldsmobiles, but they were there. Some beautiful, beautiful cars.
Nice.
And of course, there's always, the Pontiac 2+2 4-speed car that comes around.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. A 32 Buick, which was really nice as well. And a lot of modern muscle, a lot of Corvettes.
Well,
they were there. They've been coming out each and every year.
you have to expect that. Yeah.
Yeah.
As time goes on.
So I know you're already planning for next year's show.
Well, that's the big one,
I know.
the 50th.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm hoping you guys are going to be there. We're in committee meetings coming up this month as to how we can make this very special. It's the 50th anniversary of the original Dust Off. I know there's a lot of Dust Offs that have come around, but we're the original Dust Off show. And as you know, we moved from the first Sunday of May to the third Sunday in May, and that's worked for us the last 2 years because we have the Point Lookout show in the first Sunday, and we have Tobay right before that. Those are friends of ours, and we're trying to do. They're trying to help us a little bit too. So and it seems the car community wants to go to all the shows, so we want to make it so that they don't have to make a choice, one or the other. If we can accommodate, then let them have their choices, the community, as to where they want to, what shows they want to go to and enjoy, and not get bumped by the other shows.
Well, we look forward to keeping up with you, keep in touch with you to see what's going on for next year, and we'll, maybe we can advertise that on the station next year. We can get a little promo going. That'd be cool.
I think we've talked about that. I think we're going to do that.
Excellent.
All right, guys, have a great afternoon.
All right, Bob, thanks.
Thank you.
For the call,
Bye, Chris.
Talk
See
to you soon. All right.
Bye.
Very good. All right, that, Bob, took us right to the bottom of the hour.
Sure did.
Thankfully. So we will mention, like Bob did, the weather. The weather. As I look at the WHPC weather window, I see that, I know that our weather forecast is powered by Pantano's Gourmet with locations in Hewlett and Uniondale. And what do you got to say? It's raining, right? It's cool. It's in the 50s. It's pounding out there on the streets. When I came in, watch for flooding. Like last week, the city in Brooklyn got like they don't have drains anymore. I guess they're all clogged with. I don't know what they're clogged with.
Yeah, Southern Brooklyn and Southern Queens, I think. So
terrible. Tonight, cloudy with areas of drizzle. It's going to take, but not going to take off till tomorrow. It's going to be in the 50s tonight. Tomorrow, cloudy with a few morning showers. High of 74, which is good because I have to go look at a Cobra tomorrow. So we'll we took that later. So let me also mention to you that host Mark from Floral Park answers the bell and spins anything and everything Lithuanian on this station.
Ooh, there you go.
It's a very popular show. I will tell you that.
Sure.
From the past and present, and from both sides of the Atlantic, even from Brooklyn, ranging from jazz and classical to rock and pop, with announcements and more geared to the Lithuanian community. His show is really on fire. It's Mondays at 8 p.m. called Lithuanian Landslide. I recommend you listen to it. With that, do we have a soggy honor group of the hour, Chris?
Yes, we do. It is a soggy one at that. The Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour this week, we honor one of the greatest tools ever tossed into a rusty toolbox, dropped on a garage floor, or used completely against manufacturer's recommendations, the trusty vice grip pliers. Yes, because let's be honest, there's nothing these things can't do. Rounded off bolt, vice grips. Broken handle, vice grips. Exhaust hanger, vice grips. Temporary shifter, probably vice grips. Permanent shifter, definitely vice grips. These beautiful chunks of hardened steel have rescued more stranded mechanics than tow trucks and bad decisions combined. Somewhere, right now, a car is being held together entirely by hope, zip ties, and one determined pair of locking pliers. And every car guy has that one pair, that rusty old vice grip that barely releases anymore, but somehow still works better than the new ones. So to the tool that says, this shouldn't work, but it absolutely will. So if you ever needed a pair of vice grip pliers to get you out of a jam, then you are part of the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour this week.
I'll tell you real quickly, you're right. I've used them as window crank mechanisms. I've used it in lieu of a steering wheel.
Yeah.
And there's a certain Silverado at the shop that's now a plow truck. And when they got the truck, there was the main engine ground came up to the firewall to a flange. And I guess, I don't know, they lost the bolt. There's a pair of vice grips holding it in place. And I guarantee you it's still there today, even though I saw it there 6 years ago. You're right. So with that, and Brian got me a pair of, they're newer now, but they're vice grips in two different sizes, and they have just a triangular opening on them, and you use them to get brake lines off that are, it's like sometimes the line wrench will slip on a brake line.
Yeah, it'll stretch.
So these vice grips mimic the line wrench, but now you can tighten it and clamp it on there and take a compromised line wrench off. So
get a good bite out of it. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Prepare for me.
With that, we'll take our break. We'll be back with more Motormouth Radio after this quick indulgence right here on 90.3 WHPC.
Do you own a car? Or have you ever seen one? Then you might be one of the millions of Americans who suffer from "there's something wrong with my car, but mechanics cost too much itis." Call the Motor Mouse at 516-572-7440. Our trained staff of 2 will help. There are answers, sometimes correct ones, and we may have them.
Motormouth Radio, 90.3 FM, WHPC.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Limerick and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar Lifetime Nationwide Warranty, ensuring that the experts at Celebrity Chase Collision are always on your side.
Y sí, hablamos español.
More information is available at 516-593-0920 or online at celebritychasecollision.com.
It's a call-studded program. We do have another caller on the line. Caller, identify yourself.
Anthony, I called those guys with the cars one time.
Oh, nice. The Motormouth guys.
Oh, yeah, those good old boys.
There you are. Anthony, where are you calling from?
I'm in Freeport. Yeah, this morning I missed it. My boss was, every time I turn it on, he turns it off. I say, whoa, 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 whoa. Yo, you better, I mean, I give him a karate chop.
That's right.
Give him a karate chop.
Give him an F5.
I love it.
Later, dudes.
It's a pleasure, bro. Take it easy. That
was amazing.
My favorite caller
of all time.
Maybe all time. I have heard him with the Motormouth guys. That's why I recognized him a little.
Hey, you, get over here. Every Sunday, 12 to 1, you are going to tune in to hear the Motormouths, my friends Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. 90.3 FM, WHPC. You might learn something.
All right, we are back. Motormouth Radio, Long Island's only vetted car show. For all of you wacky car people out there who want to know things about mechanical oddities, Chris, I got to tell you something that I learned. You know, we've talked over the years a lot about this, about changing transmission fluid, when to do it and when not to do it.
Ooh,
And
a theory and a subject that has confounded some, irritated others, evoked yells and screams in that studio and mounds of phone calls. So,
well,
yes.
I'm going to tell you, we've all had our thoughts on it, and I'm going to tell you, I did recently, well, a couple weeks ago, I did change tranny fluid on the Camry, which has 125,000 miles on it, and it was very dark, brownish colored, didn't smell burned, but the car did have, it was exhibiting like a late shift in the upper gears, especially into the overdrive gear. And Dougie was telling me it's because, those cars, those trannies are known for that. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't know that, but okay, I buy that. Well, I did a transmission fluid change, and it's a filter. They call it a filter. It's really a screen, but I changed it.
Screen, yeah.
I mean, as soon as I changed it and I got home and I checked it again, it was brown again. So I'm going to dump it another time. I'm going to do it again. I've noticed as I used the car yesterday now, I don't put a lot of miles on any of my cars anymore, but I've driven that car a few times and put some highway use on it already. And I noticed yesterday that late shift has been kind of abated. It wasn't as late as it was. So I'm here to tell you that I think in this case that may have helped a transmission issue by changing the fluid.
Did you save the old fluid?
Of course not. No.
Oh, I would have saved it.
Right out.
No, here's the thing, and I tell this story a lot. You know this. With an old Lincoln I had, I swapped out the fluid. Now the Lincoln had over 300,000 miles on it when I did this, so all bets are off at that point. And I figured, well, at 300,000 miles, let's step into Mr. Wizard's laboratory here and see what happens. So I drained the fluid. I took the fluid out of the pan, swapped it out with new fluid, and found that the car did not go into high gear.
Right.
You got on the highway and it stayed stuck in second. As you're doing 55.
What did it do? How did it sounds like Spinal Tap to me.
So I got off the highway, went right back to the house, dumped that fluid that was in the pan, and put back the old fluid.
Right.
And it shifted well at that point. Then I went and bought 2 for sale signs.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've used that story.
The car.
And I've used that story when relaying it to other people about your experience. I've never had that problem. I mean, I've had all the cars I've had with automatics. Unfortunately, you do have to have some with automatics. I haven't had a problem, but this one I did see a positive change. So
that's good.
There's
now
one
you can throw the fluid out. Yeah, I would say save the fluid, and if it does not shift well, put the old fluid back. But if it shifts well, then chuck it.
Yeah. So, I'm going to do it one more time, and we'll see what happens. But
that's a good idea.
Nice. So, yesterday we spoke about this. I did go to see a certain Impala that we talked about a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
That's going to need some waking up from a 10-year slumber.
Ooh, a long one at that.
And I spoke with the car's caretakers and I showed them this. You got to get a catalog. This is actually very thick. But
that is a phone book sized catalog.
This actually covers Impalas from 58 to 96.
That's amazing.
So that's what I want to talk about. I mean, this car happens to be in very good shape, luckily, but people need to, and we all do it. People deal with suppliers, and I'm even kind of torn on this too. Like I'm gonna do a lot of brake work, wheel cylinders and master cylinder. I'm wondering,
I've heard you've come highly recommended too. But
I've heard that too, which it's a rumor. Yeah, it was written on a wall somewhere. But I don't know. Like, am I going to go through a restoration company for those parts, or am I going to go to my local auto parts store? Like
that is a fantastic question. Great. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Knowing you, I would say go through your channels at the local automotive store. But a lot of people do not have the advanced caliber of network that you're dealing with. So I would say they would probably have to go through the catalog. But yeah, I think truthfully, you being the slick and exotic master co-host and longtime radio colleague of mine, I would say, yeah, you could go through your auto parts stores.
I think so.
Yeah, but any guy, like, let's put it this way. I didn't have that network when I was up here with the TR6, with the Triumph. So I did have to go through the catalog and go to Moss Motors because every auto parts store I went to and said, do you have an oil filter for a 74 Triumph TR6? They went, what's a Triumph? I go, thank you. Have a nice day.
It's that 80s hairband that,
yeah, right.
I'll tell you something. And I talked about this too a few weeks ago on this show. You actually, or it might have been a conversation where you asked me this about, we're talking about getting parts now and how manufacturers are drying up. Parts are hard to find. And my Fiat came up, and what are you going to do about that? I said, you know what? It's actually as easy now as it was 20 years ago to get parts for the Fiat. They all come from Italy. They're not coming from the United States. So with the Triumph too, you can probably get parts for that car easier than maybe an American car.
I was thinking about buying. Yeah, I was thinking about buying another one.
Yeah. Well, you haven't had enough pain and suffering in your life. You need more.
No, I need another canker sore in my garage.
So there's a question. Our buddy Rick has a Triumph motorcycle. Now that you mentioned Triumph, fairly new, low mileage, good shape, and he has it up for sale. And a fellow contacted him recently, wants to trade him a 91 Miata for it. So he was like, what do you think about that? And I'm like, Miatas are hot. They are definitely hot.
They are. I have a problem with trades just overall.
Yeah.
I have a problem with trades because they never work out. At least I've never seen both parties truly happy on a trade situation.
Yeah.
So I would say no, just on that premise alone.
I think the overlying thing is both people want to get rid of what they have. And sometimes when you take somebody else's item, even though it's not 100%, like I'm thinking about this Toyota that I'm driving now. I want to do some repairs to it. I want to do some things like I want to change the fuel sending unit because it's off. All the Toyota sites I see, it's $200 for the sending unit.
Really?
And I'm not spending $200. I found a guy on eBay who has, it's a junkyard too, or a recycling center somewhere in the Midwest.
Fine.
And he wants $50.
Sold.
But I guaranteed that I'm never going to get it because I wrote the guy a message.
Yeah.
And I didn't say, hey, my cousin Rocco's going to come pick it up. It better be good. No, I didn't say that. I said, listen, I'm interested in the sending unit. I said, and I understand it's a used electrical part.
Right.
You're talking about a wiper and a rheostat electrical part. But I said, okay, I understand that. I said, I'd like to know if you can check for me with an ohm meter that it's registers between 2 to 3 ohms when full and about 100 to 200 ohms when empty. I said, if it does, you have a sale. And I hit send and I told my wife, yep, never going to hear from this guy again.
Don't hold your breath, young man.
Oh, no. It's been a week already and nothing.
Forget it.
I said, yeah, he's going to say, oh, me, what the heck is it? What does this guy want me to do? Who's this crackpot?
Exactly. That's what he's going to say.
So obviously, the previous owner was happy using the gas gauge as it was, but I'm vested enough. I like the car enough where I'm willing to spend some money on it.
Well, what's the gas gauge doing?
Okay.
Or what's it not doing?
I've only put gas in the car twice. The first time the tank was below a half a tank, between a half and a quarter. So I filled it up and I got in the car, turned the key on, and I expected to see it at full.
Yeah.
It was at about half. I was like, huh? I said, well, the sending unit's bad. It's only reading half. But by the time I got out of the station, it had risen to full. Very slow rise.
Okay.
And then then through that tank of gas, it stayed on full. I put 240 miles on the car and was only at a half a tank.
Oh, boy.
I said, wow, this car's getting great gas mileage. So I filled it again. And then I noticed the low warning light was on, even though the car was closer to half than a quarter. So I fill it again, and I looked. It took 11 gallons. The car has a 18-gallon tank. So I had 7 gallons in the tank.
Right.
So something was up with the fuel sending unit. I got it. So I figured, it works. It's just not linear in any respect. So I can obviously live with that. I can know when to put. I usually put gas in the car at a half tank anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured this car is such a joy. You pull the back seat, there's a plate, an access plate that you remove, and the center unit comes right out. You do it from in the car.
Oh, nice.
No drop in the tank. So I said,
wonderful.
because of that, yeah, I'll change that part. No problem. So my point is, though, when you get another car, you're willing to do things that the previous owner wouldn't, right? So, and I get that. So that's where I am. That's what's going on with the Miata. Then I saw pictures of it this morning, and the guy who had it previously had done some hot rodding. I mean, put some Willwood brakes on it. He said that the window
you're not jazzing me.
The window regulators don't work. They're stripped. It's got a check engine light, but that's because the charcoal canister was taken out when he put the exhaust header on. I'm like, so a lot of stuff. And the car looked good. He had taken the whole interior out, dashboard and all, and did Dynamat in it. So again, I replied to Rick and said, this car has had some hands in it. And I know from experience, did all the screws, clips, nuts, attachments go back in?
Nope.
Maybe not.
This is a typical trade situation. No.
But the car sitting there together has got inky wheels, LED headlights. I mean, he put it all back together and put pictures up, and it looks nice.
Nope.
But I said, yeah, that's unless you're going to trade and then flip, that's the only way to do it.
No. Sell the Miata and take the money and buy the bike. That's how it works.
The other guy, because Rick has. So so I'm just saying that's just what popped up now. That's the newest thing this week, and I have to. That was my advice to him. I said, listen, we need to have a conversation about this. We need to talk in person because there's a lot more going on than a text, than an email.
Oh no, I'll end that conversation in a matter of 3 seconds. No,
right.
Zero.
And I think he's probably going to lean that way as well. And I said, how the hell did they strip the window regulators? I mean, come on, how do you do that? I don't know. I don't get it.
I had a guy one time try and trade me a Bonneville, a Pontiac Bonneville, a 68 Bonneville convertible for the TR6. And I went to take a look at the car because it looked like a decent car in the pictures. And when I got to it, there was rust all over it and plates holding the chassis together. And he's like, it's been like that for years. It's like, don't worry about it.
Right.
And I walked away going, why did I even bother coming here? I mean, it was a typical trade scenario. And I'm like, no, anyone that steps up and offers a trade, it's got to be extraordinary or nothing. And it's never extraordinary. So,
I tell you this, I tend to agree with you, but I have seen guys, I've come across guys who do that. They trade and flip like it's nothing and that's just the world they live in. And their idealism is, well, hey, sometimes you're the fly, sometimes you're windshield. There's times where I've made great deals and got so much more than I thought I was going to get. And other times, I took a hit, I got bit, but you know what? It all works out in the cost of business. Yeah. I'm like, well,
it all comes out in the wash. No, I get it. But it's funny because I've learned years ago that I don't want to get burned on a car anymore. I just don't want to get burned.
I don't blame you.
And I feel if I put too much money in a car, if I'm planning on flipping it and end up putting too much money in it, I keep it. I just keep it and use it because I know it's a good car. Because I don't like to put sand in the differential. I don't like to put pepper in the radiator. I like to fix it right.
I'll tell you. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Mm-hmm. The other thing I wanted to tell you about was when I left the car at the shop, I had Mike ceramic coat it for me. And now with all this rain that we have, I'm seeing, boy, it is really just shedding water like beautiful. It's something. It's something to be investigated. It's from time to time, I use this ceramic glass coat. I put it on my Pontiac, but I use it on the face of my cell phone. And your finger it just glides. It really does. It doesn't last. I have to do it maybe every week, at least every maybe 2 weeks or so. I'll redo it. I clean it with eyeglass cleaner and then use the ceramic coat. And
that's a good idea.
And it really, I remember telling that to Evan when we had him on the show, and he says, "Hey, that's a good idea. I never thought of that one."
Yeah.
But
that's awesome. No, I totally agree. But I like the fact that you're putting the Toyota back together the way it was, and it's going to be a good solid car once again. I mean, you started out with a good solid car.
Oh yeah.
And I actually had my Camry out.
Okay, good.
As well. I have temporary plates on it. I had to run it over to get the emissions taken care of, because the car was originally a Jersey car.
Right,
so
right.
because you're bringing a car into the state, they want to take emissions on it right away before I can register it with metal plates. So I went and checked the I plugged the scanner into it and ran the IM readiness. So I had a rundown of what the computer had checked with a green check, and what it had a red X. And of course, I had a red X on the O2 sensor and the evap. And I do remember when I was trying to fix the sensor on the wheel sensor, I just cleared the codes. And of course, when I did that, those two popped up. So now you got to go through the drive cycle. So I went through the drive cycle. Then once everything checked off, because I got the greatest place to do a drive cycle here. Once it checked off, went and got it emissions tested, got that done. And now I just made an appointment to make a trip over to the DMV to get some plates for it.
Beautiful.
The car ran great. The car ran awesome.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right.
So I was very pleased.
So with that, we're going to wrap. We'll be back. I'm still waiting for my Hot Wheels guest to send me a message and drop in. He hasn't done that yet. But hopefully we'll get him in. We'll get Brendan in. We'll talk about the Hot Wheels design team. And with that, what do I tell people waiting for me in the rain out in the parking lot, Chris?
Don't follow us home, and don't slide on Ray's hood.
Oh, you're gonna slide on my head. All right, for Chris Switzer, Ray Guarino, we'll be back next week with more Motormouth Radio. Keep it where you got it. We know you do, because you love Kim's show better than ours. On 90.3 WHPC. See ya.
See you, bye.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Limerick and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services.